Welcome back to Millard South Media. I'm Hunter here with
Mason.
and we're going to be giving you guys our first round mock drafts of the NFL draft tomorrow. With the first pick in the draft, I have the Bears selecting Caleb Williams. I just think it's the right pick here. Generational talent we've seen. The Bears have added weapons, Keenan Allen and DJ Moore over the past 2 years, so I think they're going to set up and take the QB in this draft.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty much a done deal. The Bears traded Justin Fields because they failed Justin Fields. I want to make that clear. I don't really see Chicago doing anything else at pick number 1. He's a generational talent, like you said, Hunter. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen.
With the second pick, I got the Commanders selecting Jaden Daniels, the former Heisman Trophy winner of last year. He's got great scrambling ability, and I just think he's going to be great in the Commanders' offense.
This was difficult for me to decide. As of lately, I've heard Adam Schefter say that the Commanders are leaning towards taking Jaden Daniels. Commanders, they drafted Sam Howell 2 years ago. I don't really see him taking, 2 UNC quarterbacks in the last 3 years. So I'll trust Schefter and say that the Commanders choose Jaden Daniels at LSU.
With the third pick, I have the Patriots going in a different direction than most people think. I have them drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State, the 2023 Biletnikoff winner. Obviously, another generational talent that we've seen. Both C.J. Stroud and Kyle McCord loved him as a target in college, and I think that's going to go to the NFL as well.
The Patriots, they signed Jacoby Brissett in free agency. I don't see him as an upgrade over Mac Jones at all. So, yeah, I've got New England choosing a quarterback. I think they need to choose a quarterback. I have them choosing J.J. McCarthy.
With the fourth pick, I have the Cardinals taking the best wide receiver on the board here, Malik Neighbors. I just think he obviously was a 2023 Biletnikoff finalist. Obviously, he lost it to Marvin Harrison, but I think he's going to be a great number 1 target going forward for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, although many people believe that Marvin Harrison is the best wide receiver prospect in this draft, I think the Cardinals are going to go a different direction. I agree with you. They're going to pass on Harrison, and I think they take a guy like Neighbors out of LSU. He has elite separation skills that are hard to match, and so, yeah, I think the Cardinals pass on Harrison and instead take Neighbors.
With the fifth pick, I have the Chargers taking Joe Alt, O-tackle out of Notre Dame. Jim Harbaugh obviously loves running the ball. I think he's going to want to just boost up that O-line even more than it already is. And, yeah, I have them taking Joe Alt here.
I think that this works out really well for the Chargers. I have them taking Marvin Harrison Jr., and I think this is the best case scenario for the Chargers. They now have the top rated wide receiver prospect by many analysts, and they need to fill those gaps at the wide receiver position. They have like Mike Williams, Keenan Allen leave their team, and I think they fill that need a position taking Harrison here.
With the sixth pick, I have the Giants taking wide receiver Rome Odunze out of Washington. Obviously, they need a wide receiver. I don't think they're going to go quarterback here because they paid Daniel Jones so much money. I think they go wide receiver, try and get him some help there on the offensive side.
Well, the Giants aren't going to expect Drake May to still be on the board after the top 3 picks, but I still have him on my board at this point, and that's why they're not going to let this opportunity fly by them. It's time for them to move on from Daniel Jones, so I think it's a no-brainer here. They take Drake May.
With the 7th pick, I have the Titans taking offensive tackle Tyrese Fuaga. Obviously, Joe Alt's no longer on the board. I think Fuaga is the most agile lineman in the draft. Obviously, the Titans need to protect Will Levis and open up holes for Tony Pollard to run through, so I got them taking Fuaga.
Yeah, the Titans, they need a lineman here, and I think their best available option is offensive tackle Joe Alt out of Notre Dame, so that's who I have them choosing.
With the 8th pick, I have the Falcons taking edge rusher Dallas Turner out of Alabama. I think their offense is already set in stone. They have Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts. They just need to obviously get some help on defense, and I think they go with one of the best defenders in this draft, Dallas Turner.
I think the Falcons take a really underrated player here. I think they take Jerzon Newton from Illinois. I haven't seen him that high on, a lot of analysts' mock drafts, but he's like a force to be reckoned with in the trenches and just really a brick wall of a defender overall.
With the ninth pick, I have the Bears taking Jared Verse, edge out of Florida State. I just think, they got Montez Sweat last year. I think they're looking for that other edge, that secondary edge that can also come off the other side on that defensive line.
Yeah, I think the Bears, many think they need to take a wide receiver here. I don't see that. I think they have two number one wide receivers in Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. So I don't think they need to take a wide receiver here. And I agree with you. I think they take Jared Verse from Florida State. He's a great run defender. He does a great job of setting the edge. He has the ability to read an opponent's run game in efficient manner. So yeah, that's who I have them taking.
With the 10th pick, I have the Jets drafting Brock Bowers, tight end out of Georgia. I just think, Rodgers needs one or two more targets to really get them into Super Bowl contention. Obviously, Brock Bowers, two-time Mackey Award winner in college, and I think he's one of the best tight end prospects we've seen in a while.
Yeah, the Jets are going to help out Rodgers here more. I think they take Rome Odunze from Washington. That's a guy who was consistently getting better year after year at Washington. I think it's a great pickup for New York.
With the 11th pick, I have the Vikings going Drake May here. Obviously, a lot of people have him higher up on the board. I think he does fall here to 11 to the Vikings. The Vikings, they need a QB here, obviously getting rid of Kirk Cousins. Obviously, they want to keep their good players like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, so they need to get that reliable quarterback.
Minnesota here, I don't think they need to, trade up, I should say, for a quarterback, unless they're desperate to do so. I really think they can get a great quarterback if they don't decide to trade up. So the way they're going to choose a quarterback, I think they take Bo Nix out of Oregon. I think that's their next best option at that position, and that's who I'm saying they select there.
With the 12th pick, I have the Broncos also going QB like the Vikings. They're going to take J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. I just think they got rid of Russell Wilson. They don't really have that QB. Obviously, they just traded for Zach Wilson, but, we've seen how his career started out. Not great. They go get J.J. McCarthy, be their starting QB.
Well, yeah, the Broncos, they need a quarterback after Russell Wilson's departure. When I was looking at the board, I saw that Michael Penix was still there, so that's who I'm going with. Just a great dual threat player out of Washington.
With the 13th pick, I got the Raiders taking Kenyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. I think he's the best cornerback in this class, far none. Had a great combine, obviously, and I think he'll mix great with that Raiders defense with Max Crosby, newly added Christian Wilkins, and I think he's going to help out that secondary.
I think the Raiders choose Byron Murphy, the second out of Texas. He's a pretty fast lineman at nearly 300 pounds, which is pretty incredible. So yeah, I think that'd be a good pickup for the Raiders.
With the 14th pick, I have the Saints going offensive line here, taking Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. I just think he'll be great in this offense. Obviously, Ryan Ramczyk's pretty old, and they need a opposite tackle from their last year's first-round pick, Trevor Penning. So I have them taking Olu Fashanu here.
I think New Orleans takes a guy like J.C. Latham from Alabama. That's a guy who has a lot of the traits like size and speed that these NFL teams are looking for in offensive linemen.
'15th pick, I have the Colts taking cornerback Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. I think he'll fit really nice next to Kenny Moore and be a great addition to that secondary.
At number 15 here, I have the Colts. They're going to take the highest ranked cornerback in the mock draft simulation by PFF. I think they take Cooper DeJean from the Hawkeye State.
With the 16th pick, I have the Seahawks taking Latu, D end out of UCLA. I think he's a lot like a guy like Aiden Hutchinson. He can rush off the edge, and he's great against the run, and that's who I have been taking.
Well, the Seahawks, they need people to fill those offensive lineman positions, and I think they start here with the center from Oregon, Jackson Powers Johnson.
With the 17th pick, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking wide receiver Brian Thomas out of LSU. I think he's a great physical wide receiver, kind of like an A.J. Brown type of guy, standing 6'4", so that's who I have them taking.
I think they take one of the top corner prospects up there with Cooper DeJean. I think they take Keon Mitchell out of Toledo.
At pick 18, I got the Bengals taking Troy Fatanu, O-tackle out of Washington. I think he's going to be great against any type of defense that is shown at him, and I think he's going to be great protecting Joe Burrow.
I was looking at the team needs for the Bengals, and they need to fill that tight end role, and Brock Bowers is still on my board, so that would be a perfect pickup for the Bengals.
With the 19th pick, I got the Rams taking Byron Murphy out of Texas. You know, as Mason said, he has great speed for his size, almost being 300 pounds. Obviously, they need to fill that Aaron Donald role since he retired, so this is who I have them taking.
This is a player with a high-level playing personality. I think the Rams take Troy Fatanu.
With the 20th pick, I got the Steelers taking J.C. Latham, O-tackle out of Alabama. I just think, you know, he'll be a great addition to this offensive line who has struggled in years past, and that's who I have them taking.
The Steelers, they lost a guy like Deontay Johnson at the wide receiver position. That is a gap they need to fill in their team. I think they take Adonai Mitchell from Texas. He has exceptional route running skills. You know, the Steelers are looking for more guys that Russell Wilson can get the ball to, or Justin Fields, whoever wins that quarterback battle. But yeah.
With the 21st pick, I got the Dolphins taking Jerzon Newton, D-tackle out of Illinois. I think he has great speed at the D-tackle position, and he's a great replacement for Christian Wilkins, who they lost in free agency.
I think the Dolphins take Talise Fuaga here from Oregon State, and that's a very highly rated tackle prospect in this draft.
At the 22nd pick, I got the Eagles taking A.D. Mitchell, wide receiver out of Texas. As Mason said, a great route runner, and I think he slots right into this wide receiver 3 spot that the Eagles have, obviously with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith being there.
I have the Eagles picking Brian Thomas here. I think they take him before anyone else has a chance, and another just overall great player out of the Bayou.
With the 23rd pick, I got the Vikings taking Graham Barton, O-guard out of Duke. And he's just like one of those power guys. Obviously, Duke not known for many prospects, but he is a guy that comes with intent, and that's exactly who the Vikings need.
Well, I have the Vikings taking a player of great potential coming from the Crimson Tide. This guy may be the highest rated Alabama prospect in this draft. I'm not sure. He's number 1 or number 2, but I have him taking Terrion Arnold, cornerback.
With the 24th pick, I got the Cowboys taking O-tackle Amarius Mims out of Georgia. He is just a huge presence to that O-line. Obviously, they lost Tyron Smith to the Jets, so they need to fill that role, and this is who I think they're going to be going with.
Well, there's one explosive player in this draft that I still need to get off my board, and that's Dallas Turner, the Alabama prospect. He's got Dallas in his name, so, you know, why not? It'd be a great pickup for the Cowboys here.
With the 25th pick, I got the Packers taking Cooper DeJean, obviously from Hawkeye State, like Mason said. He's just that guy that the Packers need to be next to Jair Alexander. I think he can play safety if they need him to play safety. Obviously, they need that cornerback too, so this is who I have them taking.
I think the Packers go the safety route and take Tyler Nubin. He's a versatile defensive back, and that's being one of the Packers' needs, so it'd be a great pickup for them here.
With the 26th pick, I got the Buccaneers taking Chop Robinson, D-end out of Penn State. He's great at setting the edge, and also he's definitely like a guy like Chase Young, I think, from Ohio State a couple years ago, who's turned into a beast.
I have Tampa Bay choosing Leatu Latu from UCLA. I may be wrong, but I think he's rated as the top edge by PFF. Just had to get him off my draft board, and I feel like this would work out great for Tampa Bay.
With the 27th pick, I got the Cardinals taking Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson. You know, he's got surreal speed and is going to be able to keep up with the very fast guys in the NFL like Tyreek Hill, and so that's who I have them taken.
I agree with Nate Wiggins. I think that's who they choose. I already have them getting their wide receiver at number 4, obviously, so I think they look to the other side of the football and get probably the best Clemson prospect in this draft, Nate Wiggins.
With the 28th pick, I got the Bills taking wide receiver Keon Coleman. Obviously, they lost an all-star wide receiver in Stephon Diggs, so they need to fill that role. Keon Coleman, beast in college, and I think he's going to translate that to the NFL.
Another highly rated prospect that I'm picking a lot later than most people. I think the Bills take Olu Fashanu, the tackle position, obviously being a need for this Buffalo team.
With the 29th pick, I got the Lions going Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback out of Alabama. Obviously, the Lions were terrible in the secondary last year, just allowing so many yards to receivers. And Kool-Aid, obviously one of the top prospects here at the cornerback position, and I think he'll fit greatly in that secondary.
Well, I agree with you, Hunter. Once again, I think they take Kool-Aid too. That's another great cornerback out of Bama and a guy who plays with a lot of discipline. That's going to be great for Detroit.
With the 30th pick, I got the Ravens taking Xavier Worthy, wide receiver out of Texas. Obviously, he just recently broke the Combine 40 record, and I think he's kind of like that Hollywood Brown piece that they're missing. I think he's going to fit great next to Zay Flowers, so that's why I've been taking.
Well, there's still, a bunch of wide receivers out there like Troy Franklin, Roman Wilson, and Xavier Worthy. But I think the Ravens settle for Keon Coleman too. Wide receiver is the top need of this team. And like I said, just a lot of great prospects in this draft. I think they settle for Keon Coleman here from FSU.
With the 31st pick, I got the 49ers taking Tyler Guyton, O-tackle out of Oklahoma. Just another guy who I think can help that offensive line there in San Fran. I think, they obviously have McCaffrey. They need to open up holes for him. Trent Williams getting up there in age, so this will be his replacement.
I believe the 49ers go a little conservative here, or more conservative, and instead of picking a skilled position player, I think they take the talented tackle from Georgia, Amari Mims.
The 32nd pick and the last pick, I got the Chiefs taking wide receiver out of Georgia, Ladd McConkey. Obviously, I think he's one of the best, actually the best route runner in this draft. And obviously, since Rashee Rice and all of his problems off the field's been happening, I think they go wide receiver here.
The Chiefs, they added Hollywood Brown to their wide receiver group, and I was conflicted between picking a wide receiver or tackle for the Chiefs here. I ultimately decided that I think they should pick a tackle. Mahomes is incredible. I don't really even need to say that. Everyone knows that. He doesn't need a stacked receiver core to win football games, as he pretty much proved last year, winning back-to-back Super Bowls. So I have them taking Graham Barden here from Duke. Millard South Media, this was our mock draft. Make sure to tune into the NFL draft this Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time on ESPN.
Also, coming this Thursday is the Patriot Invitational, and we will be having all those games covered at 10, 1, 4, and 7 p.m. Be live, Millard South Media.